Did you know? Mexicans don't drive Honda Accords. Welcome back to Capo TV, the channel where we know school's a joke and you don't want to be the punchline. If this is your first time here and you want to help spread that message that school is a joke, hit that subscribe button now. This video sounds a little weird. Mexicans don't drive Honda Accords? What does that possibly mean? I hope this doesn't get flagged by YouTube as inappropriate content, but I want to talk about stereotypes for just a couple minutes here. My wife and I, Mrs. Capo TV, recently drove to her sister's house for a birthday party. Her sister happens to live in Pennsylvania. As we were getting on the highway, there was a slow-moving Honda Accord in front of us. This Honda Accord had Pennsylvania license plates. Now, where I'm from, there is a sizable Mexican population. It is a stereotype around here to assume that anyone with Pennsylvania plates is a Mexican. This is because in recent years it was really easy to get license plates in Pennsylvania even if you didn't have your car registered and if you didn't have a license. Also, I think it had something to do with insurance, but I'm not sure on the details of that. Suffice to say that around here, if you see an old beat up car or a large work van with PA plates, you can assume that it's a Mexican driving. Now, that is a stereotype. Now here's the funny part of my thinking, and this is what prompted me to make this video. As we were driving behind this Honda Accord, I immediately saw the Pennsylvania license plates. Now, the Honda was driving slowly. It was driving in a slightly swervy pattern. My first thought was, oh, that must be a Mexican because they have PA plates. But then I noticed that it was in fact a Honda Accord. It was a nice new looking blue Honda Accord. And then my next thought was, wait a minute, Mexicans don't drive Honda Accords. Stereotypes have just been broken. Now, in fact, it was not a Mexican driving. It was just someone that really probably didn't know how to drive in New Jersey. But my point is, you can't just assume that a person is a certain way based on stereotypes. As humans, we like to categorize things into easy to understand little bits of information. That's why we love stereotypes. If you're like me, you try to avoid thinking in stereotypes. Unfortunately though, as this little story demonstrates, even the most careful person can fall into the stereotype trap. My challenge to you is to consciously think about the stereotypes you believe in. Stop thinking that just because a person believes one thing, then they must believe a whole list of other things. This is easy to demonstrate in school, where you have the nerds, the jocks, the preppy kids, and whatever other list of people that you have. And when you see a person that fits a certain stereotype, you assume hundreds of other things about that person, like, oh, the nerd must be good at math, he must like to read, he must like to play video games. This sort of thinking is good, I guess, if you want to just live your life without using your brain too much. But if you actually want to understand the world and be more than just an input-output machine, then you really need to start thinking for yourself. You really need to take people on an individual basis, and you can't pass judgment on people too quickly. Now, yes, if someone has a history, has a pattern of certain behavior and certain thoughts, then you can say, yes, that person is this. If they just make one off-the-cuff comment, then it's harder to say that that person is a certain way. And I'm sorry if I'm being vague here and I'm not really giving concrete examples, but I just really don't want this video to get flagged by YouTube as inappropriate content. What I want you to take away from this video is that stereotypes are not the best way to live your life. Case in point, Mexicans don't drive Honda Accords. There's nothing that stops a Mexican from driving a Honda Accord. And it's not right to assume that just based on the make and model of a car, the driver must believe a certain set of things or must be a certain person or be a certain way. That's just not fair. Likewise, in school, in life, in wherever else you go, don't just assume that people are a certain way based on what you see, on what they say, on what you hear from other people. That's not going to serve you well in life. You've got to think for yourself. You've got to come to your own conclusions, and you can't just live your life based on stereotypical thinking. Have you ever had a situation where you accidentally believed in a stereotype without realizing it? Leave a comment down below, let me know how that situation worked out. And if this was your first time here to Capo TV, I would encourage you to look at some other videos, hit that subscribe button, help us spread the message that school is a joke.
Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.